From the comments in the first two videos, I learned that many of you have never played Fallout. So, before I continue with the game, I'm going to provide you all with some background info. This is so you can get a better feel of the setting, and understand our objective from the perspective of the main character. We'll begin with the game's two intro videos, although I've clipped the first of it to remove the song Maybe by the Ink Spots. Nothing against the song, I like it, but I try to avoid content ID matches. Now, if you would please, Ron Perlman.
War. War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes. In the 21st century, war was still waged over the resources that could be acquired. Only this time, the spoils of war were also its weapons. Petroleum and uranium. For these resources, China would invade Alaska, the US would annex Canada, and the European Commonwealth would dissolve into quarreling, bickering nation-states bent on controlling the last remaining resources on Earth. In 2077, the storm of World War had come again. In 2 brief hours, most of the planet was reduced to cinders. And from the ashes of nuclear devastation, a new civilization would struggle to arise. A few were able to reach the relative safety of the large underground vaults. Your family was part of that group that entered Vault 13. Imprisoned safely behind the large vault door, under a mountain of stone, a generation has lived without knowledge of the outside world. Life in the vault is about to change.
War never changes is a philosophical argument, one I'd love to get into, if we had the time. However, I think the late Ken Mars has something for us. Is that right?
Ah, you're here. Good. We've got a problem. A big one. The controller chip for our water purification system has given up the ghost. Can't make another one, and the process is too complicated for a workaround system. Simply put, we're running out of drinking water. No water, no vault. This is crucial to our survival. And frankly, I think you're the only hope we have. You need to go find us another controller chip. We estimate we have 4 to 5 months before the vault runs out of water. We need that chip. We marked your map with the location of another vault. Not a bad place to start, I think. Look, just be safe, okay?
Alright, so we're fucked. Got it. I also wanted to share with you the wonderful instruction manual that came with the game. I was a kid who liked to read these and loved the elaborate ones. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, for instance, was an absolute gem. Fallout's manual is a spiral-bound, tongue-in-cheek notebook, giving you the knowledge you need to survive in the hellish wasteland. I'm not going to cover every page, but I wanted to touch on the highlights, particularly the Overseer's notes. We have here, of course, the cover of the book, a book I still have and that's still in good shape, along with the intro page. I mean, I know I'm not alone, but I am in rare company to have really enjoyed instruction manuals. They were tools I used to help me fall asleep sometimes at nights, and along the way I might pick up various facts that I had somehow missed about games. And I really, particularly, especially, let's add a bunch of other superlatives, enjoyed the in-character ones that also came with a bit of sass. Fallout's confluence of different styles, from the serious to the sarcastic, really appeals to me, and Interplay made it even better with the beautiful artwork of the game, a bit of which I have lined up here in these images. Of course, you can see here, like, the notice, it's all restricted. Transfer of this Vault Dweller survival guide to an unauthorized person is prohibited by the law. I don't know how well this is going to show up, since YouTube likes to mess with my pixels and resolution, but I'll roll with it and see how well it looks. The next image you've got there is like the Welcome to Vault 13. It gives you information about Vault 13, as well as other various end-of-the-world causes, and in the middle there you have the note, "Don't let what could have happened bother you. We have enough problems to deal with in the here and now." The manual also, begins to break down a bunch of other statistics of Vault 13, and it also covers the consequences of just what exactly a nuclear blast will do to you and to the world at large, and why you need to secure yourself within this vault. Sifting through, there's another useful note from the Overseers. To help you gauge the value of a statistic, we devised a simple system of naming each value. Here is the list from worst to best. And it goes through the names that are assigned to each attribute level. And he has scrolled, "Hope that helps, Overseer." Really, I mean, he fills the role of useless manager, and he said it best himself in the last episode. "Man, I wouldn't have a job. I'm not useful beyond this managerial role, man. Got to keep my ass employed." And going into the artwork, you've got that entertaining image in the bottom left there. "Glowing objects are to be considered dangerous at all times. If an object has enough luminosity to read at night, do not touch." He's like, "Oh no, my hands have melted." Another image that just makes me giggle. "In the event of exposure to radiation, you must shower with a large amount of water as soon as possible. Lather, rinse, and repeat." Because I bet we're going to be finding high-quality showers out there in the outside world. Another note from Mr. Awesome. "We reprogrammed your Pip-Boy to keep track of the number of days remaining in the Vault water stores. This note is the only thing you should care about until we are safe and have a restored water processing chip. The note shows the number of days before we croak. If that happens, your adventures on the outside won't be worth a set of thermal underwear in Death Valley at high noon. We'll be dead. And we don't want that. Go to it. And your Pip-Boy has been programmed to properly handle all calendar dates even after the turn of the century. Your Pip-Boy 2000 has a 3-month limited warranty." And then conflict resolution. "Oh, noz. Yeah, that monster. I'm sure those of you who haven't played the original Fallout but have played the later Fallouts can surmise as to the identity of that being. And even if you don't, we'll be encountering it in the I hope distant future. Don't let this happen to you. Proper weapon maintenance will stop over 95% of all critical failures." No! Oh, the Jinx trait. The Jinx trait, which I've picked before out of humor, basically makes everyone, including you, suffer from more critical failures, which can be rather harmful and hazardous to your health. And if you have a low luck, you can also expect to see more critical failures. With an average luck, I will hopefully, I'll be hopefully middle of the road. But I can't swear to that. And of course, you see some breakdown of damage threshold and resistance there. Well, it actually reminds me I won't be able to qualify for, I think, the toughness perk, because I don't have 6 luck, and that's actually something that would increase damage resistance. It's not a big deal. Just something I thought of. And of course, Overseer's definitely right on this one. This is a big deal. Vault 13 and all the vaults will be like, yeah, the items that we give you will be enough to supply and help 1,000 people for 10 years. Well, yeah, right. Who wrote this? What budget did they get? We already used most of the equipment on failed attempts to contact an outside civilization. And we've been in here a lot longer than 10 years. We have little left to give you, but we will give you what we can. Folks, for noting, as much as I was being all jokester-like of how I drew the short straw and I ended up being sent out into the world, the Vault has tried numerous other people, I don't know exactly how many, but others have definitely made the attempt. I mean, we saw Ed. Ed didn't even make it out of the cave. He died to a bunch of rats, which is unfortunate. I like to think that I avenged his death. The Vault has continued to lose supplies over the passage of time like that, because they've obviously wanted to supply the people they sent out well enough. And it's possible they may have sent out multiple groups of people in the past, and they just failed or didn't return or what have you. But now the Vault's in a critical situation where it's not just a point of interest to get in contact with the outside world. They absolutely have to get in contact with the outside world, because the water purification chip is broken, and the people in the Vault are just vastly and widely and incredibly unprepared for survival in the outside world. I mean, you saw how many rats we had to kill. My goodness, and that's just the beginning. That's certainly, contrary to popular belief, that's not the most threatening monster out there in the wasteland. Remember that conflict resolution picture? Yeah. Yeah. I definitely made sure the Vault gave me whatever it could, though. I have no complaints. I got a shotgun out of it. And, also, the Garden of Eden Creation Kit, which, folks who are familiar with, say, Fallout 2 will recognize. The Garden of Eden Gek. The Garden of Eden Gek. And, finally, there's an appendix of hints and tips, which of course carries through the rather amusing style of the book and the game. Save often, be nice to people, punch people in the nose. On the next page, the game continues, the people continue to remind you to save. I mean, you got all those save slots, you might as well utilize them. Situations where you get brutally unlucky because you're shot in the eye, or some shit like that, or, you're basically incapable of winning a battle and you die. And also an idea where you might try to figure out where to go if you're lost or confused for whatever reason, and avoid the crazy chicken dance. Which I maybe perhaps will show off sometime or another. Anyway, that goes ahead and that takes care of our little manual review there, and I think the biographical information review. I mean, if you're interested in learning more about the setting, you can of course get the manual on your own in a PDF format somewhere out there on the interwebs. Replacement docs might have a copy, and you can preview it on your own time to see how you should properly handle a nuclear blast. I'm pretty sure that covered all the Overseer's notes. And combined with the intros, I hope, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this game, or who have never played it, I hope that gave you a better understanding of who our character is, and why we've been charged with such a task. Alright? Alright. I will see you all in the next episode of Let's Get On With It Fallout, whenever we actually play the game. We'll explore Shady Sands. Okay? Talk to you all later.